and welcome to the Sunset Safari here in the magnificent Lowveld of South Africa on the Rietspruit Game Reserve. My name is Brent. I have Joe on camera, and we have Basil in final control, Matthew cooking dinner, and VM in a workshop somewhere. Hello to our pack members: Mary, Ariana, Rosemary, Elsa, Barbara, Carol, Jan, and Jennifer, and I'm sure there's been a few more people joining. Remember, if you hear me saying your name, or if you hear me answering a question or a comment, to have your questions answered or your comments answered, you need to be a Painted Dog pack member, and it is for as little as about $30 a month, or $35 a month, and you can become a pack member by just going and looking at the link below or the description below, and follow the links, and you can be chatting to me on our next live drive. Very exciting. The lions have been giving us a bit of a hard time the last couple of drives. We missed them by a few minutes this morning, but they're very close to our camp. But it is quite warm, and it's quite warm, and I think they're probably going to be snoozing. So we're just going to take a quick trundle down towards the lemon thorn area. I think the elephants are still around there, and it's been dry. It's been a bit warmer today than yesterday, so there's a chance we might catch the elephants having a drink at one of the water holes in the Lemundoreng area. But of course, the best thing about being on a live safari is we do not know what's around the corner, and I'm just absolutely thrilled and excited to be able to share this incredible part of Africa with you.
Good afternoon, semi-mobile.
And if you hear anyone on the radio, like Sammy, who I'm about to talk to, afternoon Sammy, there's a few leadwood stations out, but no updates. One station following up on the lines around Mambo Kronkelpad. There are some other game drives and vehicles out on the reserve, so you will hear me talk to them from time to time. Now, as a lot of our regular viewers know, one of my favorite things to do while we're looking for animals, and you guys are getting good now, so I've really had to up my game, is we're going to do some wildlife, geography, history, general knowledge sort of quizzing. And you guys are also welcome to quiz me back. I love a good quiz, one of my favorite things in the world to do. So while we're trundling along to go check the water, you'll notice I'm also might put my head off the vehicle, look at the ground. I'm looking for the footprints of the animals we're looking for. And it seems like there's been some rhinos walking down here at some point during the day. And there's lots of rhino dung around as we're driving. Very good area for rhino, both black and white. So let's think, what category? I'm going to get Joe to choose category to start today. Okay, what's the category for the quiz today, Joe?
Trees.
Trees. Oh, you want to torture the viewers today. Okay, I haven't done a nearly impossible tree quiz for a long time. Haha. And I'm going to actually start easy, but I want the scientific name as well, because if you were on safari with us yesterday, I taught it to you yesterday, and I ate some, and Joe even ate some. It's not exactly a tree, but it is a plant, and I will give you the common name, but you guys are going to have to come up with the scientific name. And remember, we had a good look. This one's actually been broken by elephants. The elephants have been feeding on it, and the common name is elephant's pudding. And we can see how dry it is in the Lowveld at the moment. This is normally a big, thick succulent, but the leaves are closing to try not lose any moisture to our lovely sun, which I'm quite thankful for after a few cold days. So what is the scientific name for elephant's pudding? We'll keep it with us till we get an answer. Let's see how good people's memories are. But that, I think, is way too easy, so that doesn't count as the nearly impossible tree quiz. So I'm going to keep looking for a nearly impossible tree, and then we'll open up the nearly impossible tree quiz. Hello, Brian. Hello, Di. Lovely to have you with us. I can't remember the last time I did a nearly impossible tree quiz. The exciting thing about this reserve, the Rietspruit Game Reserve, is because we're so close to those mountains, we get quite a lot of species that are crossovers between the montane and the bushveld areas. So it'll be lovely if we can find a special one. Jennifer, that is why I love a quiz. Jennifer says, even though I know almost none of the answers to the pop quizzes, I'm learning a lot. Ariana, you are correct. It is something rotundifolia. I'm looking for the something in the beginning. It's quite easy. Okay, I'm not seeing any elephant tracks. This is the area I was hoping to see elephant tracks. Now, Painted Dog TV is the only place where you're going to get a real game drive experience. We don't bounce around between vehicles. We expect our guides to be knowledgeable enough to keep you entertained, even if there's not an animal inside. And have a quick look for tracks up here. I was hoping this is where we'd find some elephant sign. But if not, we'll head down into the Diepsloot, into the little river system that runs through the western sections of the Rietspruit Game Reserve. Actually, while we're here, let's take a little trundle towards another waterhole a little bit further to the east. Good for rhino at this time of the day. And then we'll work our way back. And then we're going to be really concentrating on working that area around our camp, because I've even got a sneaky suspicion the lions might come drink from the little waterhole we've got in camp. Mary says, I remember thinking I'm glad I don't have to know scientific names. A gorgeous afternoon, around 75, 76 degrees Fahrenheit. So not hot or warm, sort of cool. It's one of those strange afternoons. I'm tempted to put a jersey on, but then I know as soon as I stop driving, I'll get hot. Also says, I agree. Learning from quizzes, keep them going. Barbara says, my Google skills are improving with these quizzes. Okay, Barbara, if your Google skills are improving, I'm going to ask you, what is the first part of the scientific name of elephant's pudding? It is something rotundifolia. I'll even give you guys a clue. It begins with a C. So I'm going a little bit faster than I normally would because I know what area I want to work a bit later. But while it's a bit warmer, I want to see if we can find some rhino or elephant to spend some time with before we knuckle down to find the lions. There we go, well done Barbara. Cissus is correct. Cissus rotundifolia is that scientific name for elephant's pudding. Okay, we're nearly at the next little water hole. Now, for those of you who don't know the history of the Rietspruit Game Reserve, up until about 15, 16 years ago, these were cattle farms. So this is a great example of farms that were used for commercial cattle farming being turned back to wildlife, which is a really wonderful story, which is happening quite a lot in southern Africa at the moment. So 15, 16 years ago, if you were a hyena or a leopard and you came into this area, you probably would have been shot or trapped. Now we obviously encourage those predators to be here, and it's very exciting. The reserve is home to an estimated, if we work it out, 5 to 6 female leopards, 3 to 4 male leopards. We think there's been a split in the hyena clans, and there's actually 2 hyena clans, one in the west, one in the east, but we're still figuring that out. So at least 10 or 12 spotted hyenas, at least another 5 to 10 brown hyenas, and of course we've got 2 female cheetahs, each of which have a cub at the moment, and our pride of lions, and I'll get into the rest shortly. How's it, guys?
How are you?
Good, good.
Excited to have some fun?
Yes, we've been talking about Cissus rotundifolia, elephant's pudding. It's the only sighting we've had. It's not very tasty. In summer it's much nicer to eat. At the moment it's a bit dry.
You know, I gotta find the content somewhere.
Exactly. We just checked from Lemundering this way, no rhinos. I haven't gone towards Leopard Dam, so there might be some rhinos up that side. Did you come from Seskans? Okay. I'm going to loop back, and then as it gets a bit cooler, I'm going to work the block for the lions. So Mama Kronkelpunt, just below our camp.
Yeah.
So they're in there somewhere. My dad, we were 2 minutes too late to get to them this morning, and they walked into the block. But it's really rocky in there, so I didn't want to break the car.
Yeah, it's quite difficult.
Yeah, but I'm pretty sure that they haven't drunk since Sunday, so they're either going to come drink at our camp or at Mamba Dam. So as it gets cooler, I would recommend being around there.
Yeah, I'm gonna head towards Mamba Dam after sundown as well. See what's cracking.
Opening station, Simon Robert on leadwood. Any updates, please?
Yeah. And also that female cheetah and cub's I saw tracks this morning again around the back end of the airstrip behind our camp.
Nice.
Yeah.
It's nice that she's active.
Yeah, and then I think the second female's on Kaya still, but she's a bit more skittish.
Yeah, I've not heard much from that one. I've not actually seen her, like, ever.
So if you ever do, there's a very easy way to tell the difference between the two. So the older female's got a scar on her right shoulder, which is quite distinct. Looks like she had an argument with a warthog or something, so it's a big scar. So that's the best way to tell them apart. Because the cubs, or the skittish one, the cub's a bit younger. Yeah. Well, good luck. I will chat to you on the radio if we find anything. Enjoy, guys. There we go. Ariana's trying to come up with questions to quiz back with. I relish the challenge. Hello, Alex. Welcome. Okay, so we are still looking for a nearly impossible tree quiz, but I've got to find the right tree for that. So we can play other quizzes in the meantime. I'm not going to ask Jo for any help. She was pretty useless last time. And if Andrew is on holiday and watching, I do owe him an apology. I said he was going to be tied to the front of the jackal and flogged upon his return for removing an SD card from my camera and not putting it back. However, Andrew was innocent. It was Matthew. But we won't flog Matthew. It's not as fun as flogging Andrew. Mary, we think the other female still has a cub. There's no reason she shouldn't have. A female cheetah was seen, I think, 2 days ago on Kaya, but no one could get a photo of that right shoulder, so we could see whether it was my bye-bye or not. Okay. Dicotrax. We actually would love to get a confirmation of that, Mary, about that other female. We're pretty convinced she's still around. So for those of you who weren't on this morning's safari, we got a really nice bird. It might still be hanging around in the area when we go look for the lions, but it'd be nice if we get a bit closer this time. But we had a peregrine falcon. Which is of course a very interesting bird. And if you want to cheat a little bit, it's the fastest animal in the world. So in their hunting strategy, they dive from above their prey, which is normally other birds, and hit them with such force, but they hit them at terminal velocity, which means the fastest. Oh, hello. We have not seen horse tigers for some time. So there we go. Some horse tigers in the road. And I've been seeing some really nice big herds of horse tigers recently. So of course I am joking, but if you break down their scientific name, it means horse tiger. Let's see if we can get a bit closer. Jennifer, indeed, the word mabai means proud or elegant in the Spedi language. Elegant, more, it's sort of a word used with females. You can say, my fuzzy mabai. Oh, look, she's so elegant. Well, that's what I was taught. I can't speak in Ispedi.
One of the stations following up on the pride that one number call this morning.
We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, at least 6, maybe a few more horse tigers. Now, at this time of the year, you'll notice that they will frequent around these crests where there's still a bit of grazing around. The first one we saw did look a bit pregnant, but could also be zebra-shaped. Now, of course, with their digestive tract, they are hind gut fermenters, which means they have a lot of gas. And when they run away, you will often hear as they disappear through the bushveld. Definitely one of the more flatulent animals around. And you can see how you would think black and white stripes wouldn't work as camouflage, but as Joe zooms out there, you can see how that camouflage works at a distance. Now you've got to remember, an animal like a lion, a leopard, they only see in various shades of sort of grey. So if you're only seeing in grey and not colour, that camouflage will work spectacularly well. And also when they're running away, it could be quite confusing. Okay, horse tigers, we're going to go find things that like to eat you. Okay, I'm waiting, Ariana. After that comment, I'm worried I'm going to get stumped on the first quiz. Oh, I actually did know that. Which flies seem to be deterred by the zebra's stripes? Well, it's not really deterred. As far as I've understood it, they are attracted to one stripe more than the other. Well, that's more in impala and other antelope though. But I'm going to say, and it's probably one of the Traxomus fly species, so horse flies or tsetse flies. That's going to be my guess. Definitely can't be botflies, because I found plenty botflies in zebra feces and while doing captures and that. So for those of you who don't know what a botfly is, you've got different species that will lay their eggs either in the lower intestine or the mucous membranes of antelope, certain antelope species, and the larvae, or the maggot stage, the larval stage, have these incredible hooks on the side of their body, which enables them to either hook into the lower intestine or into the nasal cavities of their host species, and then they will feed on what is passing, mucus or feces. Ah, there we go. I was sort of right. Those are the ones you have in your head. It's the Traxomus, the biting flies, horse flies, and tsetse flies. They won't land on a zebra stripes, at least not in lab experiments. Well, I've never had a zebra in my lab. Also, zebras are quite volatile. I think they might equal the equivalent to a bull in a china shop, a zebra in a biology laboratory. Of course, I know you're not meaning in a real lab. I'm just playing. So there are botfly species, back to flies, but this is different flies now, that are endemic to certain species. So one of the largest fly species in the world is the rhino botfly, and I'm one of the only people ever to take a photograph of one. They are very, very seldom seen. They are quite often nocturnal, the adults, and I mean it's this giant red and black fly, probably bigger than a lighter. And one flew into me at night on this reserve just after we drove past some rhino, and I had no idea what it is. And I managed to get a friend of mine who's written quite a few books, Lee Guttridge, he identified it for me, and yeah, amazing stuff. This is where we left the elephants heading yesterday. They might turn up at home as well, because if they cross here, they often move back up the river towards the house or towards the camp. I've also got that funny feeling we might find the lions on someone's porch at the tents again. It hasn't happened for a while, but it has happened before. They even stole Andrew, who's on leave, his gym towel, which he left outside, and took it for a walk. We did manage to retrieve it though. But in more interesting cases with botflies, particularly during very dry periods, they've been known to actually eat the larval stage, have known to eat the optic nerves on certain species, particularly waterbuck and buffalo. But that only really seems to happen during big drought periods. And it'd be quite scary when you're on game drive and you're like, la 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 la, and then this buffalo wants to charge you and you don't know why, and then you realize they can't see and they're literally just petrified because they think the lion's going to eat them all the time and they can't see the lions coming. Okay, our little tour of the water holes has yielded very little success, but this water hole, I just wanted to check if the lions changed their mind and backtracked and came here for a drink. But it doesn't look like it. Okay. Let's continue. Now you see we're going into tracking mode. I've changed my speed. I can't believe Mythbusters actually put a bull in a china shop. My argument would be is how angry the bull was. It didn't break a thing. So yeah, I know that I've personally seen it in a waterbuck, which we thought had rabies, where the Botflies had eaten through the optic nerve, and then during that same period I've seen it in like 3 or 4 different buffalo. In the Sabi Sands during the really, really big droughts. Oh, next one is sort of related to the previous topic. Which African antelope is unknowingly playing a large role in efforts that could extensively change the face of African agriculture? I think. Well, buffalo is not an antelope, so it can't be a buffalo. Although that has realistically changed the face of South African agriculture, but not African agriculture. I'm gonna think for a little bit. Come on, don't fly, don't fly. You see the little blue bird? Oh, it's not going too far. Little wax balls. They are just so pretty. Oh, there we go, Joe. Oh, there we go. Isn't that sweet? I think this is I think it might be a trick question here, Ariana. Now, these guys, when we find their nests, oh, there we go. A little bit out. There we go. Oh, too far. Oh, sorry. There we go. Have a really interesting nesting strategy. So they'll go and look for large paper wasps nests. And then they'll build their nest, off he goes, right next to the wasp nest as a form of protection against predators, because no one wants to be stung by a wasp. Okay. It would change the agriculture in 37 countries in sub-Saharan Africa. Okay. I was trying to think what animals I know are being farmed for venison and stuff like that, mammals or antelope. Well, just, and I don't know why, but based on range in 37 countries, it sort of limits the amount of antelope that have that wider distribution. So I mean, the obvious would be to say impala, because I think they occur. Oh, no, we don't want to fall down the hill. The impala, and the other one that might have that wider distribution is possibly waterbuck. Those are the only two. Those are going to be my two guesses, just based on distribution. Oh, duiker, grey duiker, also has a really big distribution. So does Steenbok. No, but it would be something that occurs in herds. I mean, impala is the most obvious, or most logical. Elephants are being naughty, leaving rubbish in the road. They've been making me do my work the last couple of days. Get my gym in. Waterbuck. Why? Okay, I'm very fascinated to know why. So for those of you, I literally had to use logic and knowing animal distributions to work out. It was either waterbuck or impala. Waterbuck have a larger distribution. However, there are two different species of waterbuck, even though they fill the same ecological niche. The defusser and the common. The common's the one who looks like he sat on a toilet seat, and the defusser's just got a white bum. I was actually looking at defusser waterbuck in Zambia not very long ago at all. When was I in Zambia? Like a week ago? 2 weeks ago. We got fresh elephant tracks here now. Okay, so it looks like the elephants are in this area. So I think they might arrive at home, at our camp. Wow, that is interesting. The waterbuck smell, the chemical compound seems to deter tsetse flies. Now that's quite interesting. So that comes from a gland on the base of their neck. It also can taint their meat. That certain predators, lions in certain areas and stuff, develop a distaste for waterbuck. They will eat them, but it's not their favorite. And that's very fascinating. Look at the elephant tracks went up there. And there were no elephant tracks on Mamba Kronkel this morning. That is incredible. That is amazing. Thank you very much, Ariana. I love learning new things. Oh, come on. Lions or elephants or rhino, just be nice and pose yourselves beautifully with the mountains as a backdrop. Apparently not today. I have had both the lions and the elephants on this open area before. And rhino. And cheetah I've actually seen here before as well. Okay. Nearly impossible tree quiz. Oh, it's not really a nearly impossible tree quiz. It's a moderately impossible tree quiz. Let's see. Can anyone identify this beautiful evergreen tree that is right next to us here? You can zoom in on the leaves. Get as close as possible. I will give a few more hints. Oh, what bird just landed in it? It's at the back, I can't see it. It is an evergreen tree. So it is one of our few trees that will stay beautiful and green throughout the winter months. Oh, there is a little bird in it. I'm going to see if I can get him to come out. I didn't see what it was. I just saw movement. There he comes. What is it? Looks like a female Villatine weaver, but you see where it's hopping? It might, or in a palace maybe. See up at the top now. Let's see if I can get it to come out. Oh, binoculars. Psh, 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 psh. Pss, 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 pss. It's not buying my bird alarm calls today. Those alarm calls are, certain species are more receptive. There you go, you're going to pop up on the top. I think it's a yellow-bellied aeromomola, and how's that for a mouthful? A yellow-bellied aeromomola. Where's he gone? I think he flew off, unfortunately.
Sammy, I'm 2 minutes away.
Anyway. Joe's going to give you another good look at the tree. And that is the little guy
Joe, come in.
that was hopping around in there.
Standing by, Sammy.
Yellow-bellied aeromomola.
Where are you now?
I'll have to try get a better view next time.
On to the south.
Okay, let's keep moving.
Okay, copy. Yeah. Make your way. I'm sure you.
Is that the same bird or is that a different bird?
East of, I know.
That is a different bird, and it's in a palace.
Yeah, Kieran coming in.
A yellow-throated palace has just arrived, flew in. Maybe we'll get a view of that one. Yellow-breasted palace. Female. No, sorry. Yes. Oh, the birds are really being not kind to us today. Okay, let's go look for something big, hairy, and scary. Okay, well, we still have no takers on the tree. That is an evergreen, so it provides shade throughout our dry months. It can be used as a cattle fodder in times of drought. And only really in times of drought will elephants and buffalo and giraffe eat it. Okay, Joe, I know you're quite new at live drives by yourself, but there's a route. You see it? Okay. I'm going to torch you with some birds. Oh, that's a great bird. Oh, did you get him?
Not really.
Oh, there's a white-throated robin chat. Beautiful bird. Unusual to see them, and we are on the edge of a little river system here, but they normally like it in the thickets, but they are absolutely gorgeous. And they've got a great call. I might be able to convince him to come out of this thicket. I saw him again now. Hopping around at the base of those quarries. if he might have flown away. I should have seen movement from that. But anyway, alas, the birds are just torturing us at the moment. Next time.
Close to Rhino Crossing.
So the elephants seem to have gone that way, and the lions didn't come this way. That's what I should have done the nearly impossible tree quiz on. The stump. The stump on the next to the road there. It's been dead, who knows, maybe even 100 plus 200 years. That gives it away. It's been burnt by fire, weathered by age, and is of course an ancient leadwood stump. And it's interesting enough, those leadwood stumps is one of the few trees that is illegal to cut down even once they're dead. They can stay standing for hundreds of years and provide homes to a whole host of animals, snakes and squirrels, birds, owls, which are also birds of course. It's very important, those leadwood stumps. Oh dear, keep going, Ariana. Its name has something to do with providing shelter to humans. There's a guess that I think it'll make it a bit easier for everyone for the nearly impossible tree quiz. What track was that? So we know these lions are within a couple of 100 meters of us. This is where they were last seen this morning. And we were the last, I think, to drive down this road this morning. So if we see any tracks on top, well done, Mary. Mary got the stump, but not the tree. Just gonna double check. Just confirming, has anyone driven Mamba Kronkelpad this afternoon yet? Basil, you watching the campan? Just in case the lions arrive at camp behind us. Thank you. And make sure my dear dog is inside, please. Although she is pretty scared of lions, my Jack Russell. This is a good favorite area of theirs to sleep. I wonder if I should torture my poor cameraman with another off-roading adventure to try find them. I might have moved into those open areas we were driving through this morning. So there's no tracks coming out here. So there were only 2 lionesses seen, and of course that means there's 3 missing.
Mobile in update.
Afternoon, Dad. I think 7 leadwood stations on Blowbank. Only updates rhinos on Kaya on Kudu Road.
Okay, copy. Do you see any sign of that price?
Negative. I'm just checking Mamba Kronkle slowly again now. See if there's any tracks on top of our tracks from this morning. Otherwise, then I'm going to try and move back through into the boneyard.
Okay, no sign of elephant.
Some tracks, but they look from last night at Mamba Kronkle. Sorry, to the east of Mamba Kronkle in the deep slurts, but it's not from today.
Okay, copy.
There's a giraffe. Why haven't you found the lines for us, Geraldine? Of course, I called her Geraldine because it's a girl. We're not far from where the lions were last seen. Let's just go forward a bit. The giraffe are particularly good at spotting lions and leopards with their height. Geraldine, you're going where the lions went, but there's some more giraffe off to the left there. Okay. Just where the sun is, they're going to be quite silhouetted giraffe. Sure, they're into this very thick. So this is literally where the lions were last seen this morning, heading west towards the setting sun. I think it might be worth checking the boneyard in those areas again. You ready for another adventure? Bye, John. Alex, not a camel thorn. We're too far south to have camel thorns here. They sort of start as you hit the Kalahari Sands in northern Limpopo, and then obviously through the Kalahari Belt into Botswana and into Namibia a little bit, and they don't really occur in Zambia. It gets too wet. Okay, actually I'm going to turn around where you last turned on. So the lions walked literally off the road right here this morning.
Open last year, mobile in a northerly direction into the block from Rhino Crossing. Thank you very much, Danny.
Okay, let's turn around. There's so many rocks here. Yeah, let's turn around. Oh, look who it is! Hi, guys. You look lost. Yeah, they're in these rocks somewhere. The lions. They haven't come out. I've just done around. There's a little sneaky small car route through the thorns.
7 on Blowbank number 8.
How long are you down for, Don?
I don't know yet. I was supposed to have a meeting with Derek today about when I'm going down to the Eastern Cape.
Okay.
And I'm still waiting.
Okay, cool. I'll give you a shout.
Cool. You get your bolt there?
Yes, I did. Oh no, it's on my. I was wearing it this morning with my long pants because it was cold. Okay, cool. Well, I'll give you a shout. Yeah, I'm gonna go to where I'm gonna go sneak off and make Joe duck thorns the whole way through this block. I'm pretty sure they're either going to drink at Mamba Dam or at our camp, because they haven't drunk since Sunday. I know, it is not an umbrella something either. That is also a thorn tree. This tree does not have any thorns. So who I was talking to there, Don de Swart from TMI, the Meta Population Initiative. Don and I were on that aeroplane with cheetahs to Zambia 2 weeks ago. So that's who I was flying with. And a much less smellier cheetah plane than the last time I did it. The new drug seems to keep them a lot calmer for a lot longer. Let's have a look. Yes, no, I'm not going to go around. So we didn't check too far north from the boneyard. So I think we're going to go through and then go a bit further north. And I think our bundu bashing this morning make it a little bit easier this afternoon. And it's one of the reasons I want to bundu bash the same way, because I've already pushed the trees over that way. Whee! Go off up ahead here, try to get on that big prominent game path that we were using this morning, and again hopefully we see some tracks on top of ours. Definitely think we want to come make a road through here as well. Is this where I went off? Does this look like it? Or was it a bit further? That looks a bit tight. Must have been here. I think so. I think this is where we went. Yeah. Okay. Be thankful you get to experience this via the camera lens and not when the sharp thorns of Africa pierce your skin. A waterberry tree. A waterberry is the Zyzigium in Mdoni, and it generally needs permanent water to grow. It's very seldom you'll find it growing away from permanent water, but indeed an evergreen, but not the tree. White lead tree? Nope. Provides shelter to humans. I thought that was the giveaway clue. provides shelter to humans and sometimes domestic livestock in parts of Africa. There we go, that's, I mean, the biggest giveaway ever now. Watch those nasty thorns coming up on the left there, Joe. Went that way this time, but I think it might be easier to go around this side. It is, maybe. We'll see what. Yeah. Mary, did I miss it? Oh, sorry, Mary, I missed it. You were correct. It is indeed a shepherd's tree. Do we drive? Do we come through here, or do we go through there? We did drive through here. I remember having to move the elephant's handiwork. And then, yes, we couldn't push this one. I remember. I think it was, yeah, it was too fresh. That's right. We had to do the 3-point turn to get around here. Well, the 300-point turn. That wasn't that bad. What was that? 1, 2, 3, and we're through. No, you were spot on right, Mary. I apologize, I missed that. So, alright. It's just down here where I want to go off-piste from this morning. An area we didn't check, a little bit to the north. It's where we had to get skinny. Oh, I love driving a little car off-road. So much nicer than a giant Land Cruiser. I don't know, there's just a spot over here, and I'm looking at the satellite map that I think, well, you know what? If I was a lazy lion, that looks like where I would like to have a snooze. But we're going to have to do some thorn dodging to get there. And we went that way this morning. We're going to go this way now. See that open area? You can just make it out. Ow! That one got me. Watch out. Looks like that's what I thought it was. From the satellite image, I thought it looked like a big termite mound. Are we going to make it through? Joe. Watch those ones, those have got nasty thorns on the left. Almost want to sing, how low can you go? See, this area we didn't come check this morning. We thought they were going to walk straight through to the water. Okay. Time for a bit of just double checking on foot. For any tracks. Man, I was convinced we were going to find lion tracks here. There've been none on any of the. That stump looked like a lion. Since we haven't found any others on the tracks, I mean, there is a possibility they're still a bit further. They crossed further to the west. Otherwise, they're in those massive rocky areas where we can't get a car in. Being difficult lions. There's one more big game trail. I hope we can get to it, Joe. I hope we can. Hi, Con. Aha. It's because there are different species of shepherd's tree, Mary, from the ones you're getting in Kenya. There are quite a few different species of shepherd's tree. Our most common one here is Alba trunca. We do get two species. I can't remember the other one offhand now. Okay. You're holding on, Joe. We didn't come this far north, so the really bad rock starts just over here, so we're literally really pushing the limits of where we can take the car. Ooh, that's too thorny. Ooh, must remember these Armenias, sour plums, delicious when they're in fruit. You'll notice the vegetation change in front of us from the slightly more open sort of grassland savanna to the thicker stuff with the coniferas or corkwoods, and that's when the rock starts. It's on those corkwoods. Yeah, this is the, come on, lion tracks. Bah humbug. I must be in these rocks, eh? Ah, darn it. Okay, these lions are really, this is the third day in a, or third drive in a row they're giving me a hard time. And normally, when they're giving everyone else a hard time, I can find them. I would like to know. Next quiz. That's tougher than I thought. Who can tell me? Let's listen for alarm calls for a second. Now, obviously, it's quite obvious to see what that is. It is wild cotton. And interestingly enough, all cotton species throughout the world derive from the African wild cotton. But the early European settlers and hunters used to use the ground up seeds for wild cotton as a substitute for what? So there we go, a bit of biology and a bit of history all in one. So pretty. Okay, let's keep moving. Hi. Last week, Andrew said we were on a sodic site, but you said it was different. No, it's a lateritic site. You could argue that a lateritic site, a lot of people call lateritic sites sodic, but they're wrong. It's to do with the pH balance in the soil and the plants and the plant species that grow it. And a sodic site is obviously high in salts and minerals, and there are tiny little succulents that grow on sodic sites. What a lot of things that people consider to be sodic are actually lateritic. They are still a sensitive soil, but not nearly as sensitive as a sodic site. Okay. Oh, big rock. There you go. Hop, skip and a jump over the boulder. And another one. And as I said, I'm not going to play around too much amongst the boulders. Let's get back into the slightly nicer, sandier soils. The one thing you got to be careful when you're driving through these soils is there are still the odd boulders, but also this is a favorite area of artfox in our reserve. And go boom into a big hole. Indeed, the crop that built the South. But yeah, all cotton that's grown all over the world all comes from a single species. Pretty much like coffee as well. Cool. It's a good one. Retired pig. One tusk even still in. I saw some bones and I thought it was all going to be the same, but it's not. So two animals have retired in this area. I see a warthog and a giraffe. Not connected, the retiring. Or it could be, they both could have been caught by lions. Oh. Sorry, I just had to remove the bone splinter, went right into my hand. But definitely not connected. Come on, lions, growl at me. Alright. So I was just also trying to look for a way we're getting into those rocks again. Joe, I think we're going to name it Joe. Should we keep it? There we go. Joe's coming home with us. I'm going to be in so much trouble, but the same authors of Game Ranger in my backpack also did a nice tree only book. I can't remember what it's called, and Megan will smack me because she's a very close friend of mine, and also I used to tease her about trees. So I have a copy at home. I haven't looked at it in yonks though, but it basically says, Brent, here's a book on trees. They are the things the birds sit in. That is the inscription in the front of the book. Can't remember what it was called, but by the same authors as Game Ranger in my backpack, by Megan Emmett and I can't remember his name, who's now Megan Parker actually. Duck, get low, Joe. Oh, there's so many rocks here, Joe. Why did you tell me to come this way, Joe? I'm blaming you. Oh, and now we hit a wall of trees. Now, I said I knew there was a bit of risk coming to this area. This is the first time I've actually been into this particular area with a car. I've only ever walked in here before. And okay, I mean, you can see this is a favorite area of the predators. Oh, that's quite an impala as well. A lot of hunting has been done in and around here. Okay, let me just check the satellite image quickly. I've got a horrible feeling and we might need to, okay, we're not far, but not far when it's this thick, this thorny, and then rocky as well, can be quite challenging. Oh my goodness, it looks like we've got nowhere to go. No, we're going to go straight. Hope there's no rocks under the grivia. Oh, that felt like a stump, not a rock, yeah. Oh no, no heffalumps. No heffalumps. You have cornered us, elephants. Not even we will fit through there. Okay, we might have to do a little bit of fancy maneuvering now. Grivia, I shall bend you to my will. Enough that I can get past. Are you okay? You gotta hold on. You gotta hold on when I'm doing that.
Sorry.
I nearly got Joe in my lap. Got a camera in the back. Okay, let me try bend from this angle. Okay, there we go. We can get past now. So a lot of these grivia thickets that we are bashing and crashing through at the moment are caused by a lack of elephants. So traditionally, these areas would have been, oopsie, a lot more open than they are currently. The elephants have started to do a good job opening these areas up, but with only 6 it takes a while. Joe, you want the good news or the bad news?
Bad news.
It's still a very long way to go.
The news
It's a little bit more open right in front of us. Just here. No. Oh, he's got something, Oh, he's not going to stop. Is he going to stop? He is. Okay, let me turn the car around. It's a dark charting goshawk with a rodent. Oh, that whacked me in the face. Let's see if I can get a view of him. Let me just... So there's a dark chanting goshawk. He had a rodent kill. Landed near where those elephants pushed down the trees there. Through this gap here. Let's see if I can get him. Nah, I can't see him. The birds are really not playing along with us this afternoon. But that is... Oh no, Joe. Look at all the thorns we were still got to go through. Our little open area is the smallest open area in the world. Duck and dive and get skinny. Okay, it wasn't too bad. Very nice for the lions just lying out in the open at the end of this thorny adventure. These gaps are just too small. Okay. What do you think? That gap or that gap? I think this one. Less rocks. Less rocks. But more hangy thorns. Oh, and a giant rock in front of us. Where'd that rock go? I'm gonna miss it. No, that one there. That one's very big. Aha! Good answer from Alex. Cottonseed oil could be extracted from the seeds for use in cooking and a base for soaps. Feed supplement for livestock, particularly cattle. Seeds are rich in protein and fat. All excellent answers by Alex, but not the one I'm looking for. Now, let's see if I can move this giant rock. Let us see if we can move this giant rock. Maybe we'll find a scorpion. Oh, no scorpion, no snake. Should be able to sneak through there now. Ooh. But still not the answer I was looking for, Alex. For those particular old world adventurers, it's supplemented and in very rare circumstances completely replaced their most precious commodity that they could carry with them. Okay, let's fix those aerials. We've got a bit of an open patch now for the next while. And I bounce through the rocks. Basil, still no lions at camp. Negative. That's not what we wanted to hear. Oh no, this is where we had to turn around because of the elephants this morning. Oh no, we will not turn around again. Just lift it over. Watch, don't bend them like that, otherwise they'll break. You gotta bend them high, never low. You okay? No! The elephants has literally blocked my old path. It's my old sneaky way out of here. See if we can sneak around what the elephants have pushed down. Watch the thorns. Should be not many thorns left, Joe. And then it's going to take a lot to make me off-road again today. Ugh, elephants!
Stations, I'm on with the 2 male cheetahs and the 4 eastern side of the dam. Just lying down next to the mighty.
Okay, now we're going to be able to move the stump, that's the question. I don't like elephants today. You okay? Oh no, man, they've blocked the whole road here. The road's right here. We're not getting through that. Maybe we can get, yeah, we can probably get to the fence this way. Okay. Let's go check Mamba Dam. Breather. Had to work hard through here. Jo is sitting up trying to remove thorns from her bottom. Do I have no flat tires? Yeah, I'll stop once we get off here and you can pop the camera back on and do a quick thorn count. There we go. We have escaped! But alas, with no lions. Coffee supplement? No, and not fuel for vehicles. But I suppose you could call it a type of fuel for something. I'll give you to Mumba Dan, Alex, and then I shall tell what. Even though I don't, might be one, and I'll check if we've got something in the camera box, then I might do that. We've got a special tool in the camera box. We've got a few new holes. Our camp monkeys look way too relaxed to have lions around camp. Nevertheless, we will check camp pan. And all I see is monkeys scurrying around camp. So they're going to go sit on the... Sometimes they like to sit on the cars. No lions at camp. And look on top of the roof of camp. What are you doing? Are you making trouble? Yeah, oops. Enjoying our upper deck. Little monkeys. Ariana, fuel for fires, you're getting closer. Okay. Bye-bye, trouble. Don't break into the house.
At the drink spot.
Oh, I've got thorns everywhere. I'm definitely going to stop at the dam. We can stop and have a quick thorn and stick from pant removal. Tobacco? Nope. All really good guesses, guys. So now we're going to put our patience pants on. Oh, it looks like everyone's waiting at the dam. We might not wait there. Who's that? Dad. And Ronnie and Hanno and everyone. All I did was get thorns in my body.
Miles are roaring here. The big bus coming.
Yeah, they were at, what's it this morning? Sekwe. The last tracks are literally those tracks you had, and I've now gone through to the boneyard twice. There's no tracks coming down any of those. So they either turned around and they've gone back, but I checked Lemundering as well.
Check the fence.
I did this morning. I don't like driving on fences, I'm not going to help it. I gave that stuff away when you gave it to me. To Lucy, it because it was broken. Half of the handles didn't work. My mother gives me a bunch of old pots and pans. Says, do with them what you will. I give them away. And now she's like, why? Bye. It's because they were old and broken. We're back at our spot from this morning, but I just want to do a quick thorn removal. Oh, there goes the heron. Doesn't want to hang around. Fertilizer. Oh, you do the get the thorn out of the pants stance, and remove thorn from seats. Where's the camera box? I want to see. We used to keep. We do not keep. We do not keep. We're supposed to have a lighter in the camera box for melting wires together, but I don't see one in the camera box. I wonder if one of our smokers has started it. If not, we need to get another lighter to go in the camera box. So the answer is gunpowder. They used to crush up the seeds, and you have to dry them for a bit. You can't just use it from here. And they'd crush up the seeds that are inside the cotton, and then mix it in with gunpowder to make the gunpowder last. It does burn, but it burns quite slowly, so it doesn't have that same ignition as gunpowder, but that's why it was mixed in with gunpowder. Everyone waiting for the lions at the dam. What do you spot? How is there a thorn in my pocket? Oh, I think I hear a lion. Just shh. That's a faraway line. That's not on our reserve. Decision time. Are we going to stick to our guns and these lions that have been torturing me for 3 drives by not appearing? Or are we going to go bumble somewhere else for a little bit? Decisions. Oh, that's better. Getting a little chilly. How? Where do these things keep coming from? let's do a little bumble down to Lemundering. So if those lionesses change their mind, that's the closest water. And there's a good chance of rhinos and maybe the elephants in that area as well. All I know is I ain't bashing through the thicket again. Twice in a day is enough without reward. Oh, I can hear a wobbly aerial. Basil, you keep an eye on Camp Cam there, just in case they arrive at home. As this is the final pack drive for this week. No, Sunday is. No, Sunday is the beginning of the new ones. Oh, I'm getting so confused. But the keyword for this run of pack drives, for our pack members to get their high res image of two beautiful girls who we can't find, is sisterhood. For those of you not sure what that means, if you are a Painted Dog TV pack member, not only can you ask us questions, but if you send in on the Painted Dog TV app or email, and with the keyword of the week, you will get your high res wildlife photograph of the week by a member of the Painted Dog TV crew. Who took this week's picture, Basil? It is an Andrew Ryder original. It's quite sad. I have all this camera gear with me and I haven't even taken it out of the box this afternoon. And as I said at the beginning of the drive, this is the only truly authentic drive. We don't bounce between cars. You're with us for the old time. And sometimes the bush is a cruel mistress. Sometimes we drive around the corner, there's a leopard, there's a lion, there's elephants. Today, however, it's being a little bit more tricky. This morning, what did we see as well? We just tracked this morning. We saw a bushbuck and a nyala, but we didn't see any of the kitties. None of our resident cheetahs, leopards or lions. Oh, Basil, you want to say something? Please tell me there are lions at home. Oh, and we saw a peregrine falcon. See, that's what caught my eye. And I thought, oh, is it a lion over there? But it's not. It's an inyala. See ya. Just to prove, if you've got anyone new, there are actually animals here. You don't just have to watch me off-road and talk nonsense. Hello, cutie. Little baby nyala. We'll be hoping to avoid all lions and leopards and cheetahs. Anyway, let's take advantage of the light we have left to try and get towards Lemundering, the lemon thorn area again. So if they haven't come south, the closest water is the north. Ah, well, there we go. The guys in the public chat were correct. explosives. It is indeed, can be used as a gunpowder supplement. Generally mixed in with gunpowder to make their stash last a bit longer, but in real tight cases could be used alone as gunpowder, but much slower burning. And if you dry the seeds and then you crush them up and light them, they like gunpowder does. Indeed, Inyala are very cool too. Giraffe kicking the soil made the track look a little bit more interesting than it was, dragging their toes. That's some grade A Davy Crockett stuff right there, adding cottonseed to gunpowder. But that was also practiced on the American frontier occasionally. Yep, indeed it was. Are kudus killed in Africa for their horns? Is there that thought that people think they have special meaning powers? Not really. People will use kudu horns for lots of different things, but generally when they're killed, they are killed for the meat. Meat is king. But there are bugles or trumpets made out of kudu horns. There are door handles, sometimes made out of kudu horns. I've seen that. But they're not exclusively killed for their horns. Generally, they'll be killed for meat, and the horn is just a byproduct that gets used. Now, when I played rugby in my younger years in Tanzania, I played for the Dar es Salaam Leopards Rugby Club, and our arch rivals were the Arusha Rhinos. And each sort of rugby club has some strange traditions. Normally it doesn't matter where you are in the world. But at the fines session, which happens after the game, depending if you messed up or played well, you would generally get fined and have to consume alcohol. And when you were in Arusha country, they had a kudu horn that would actually fit nearly 3 beers that they would pour in and you would have to drink out of if you were a man. And then because they live in an area where there are lesser kudu as well, the ladies would drink from a lesser kudu horn. That was a long time ago that I drank beers out of kudu horns. Or downed beers for that matter. My goodness, couldn't think of anything worse. Ooh. Come on, lions. No tracks. Or they killed something and they're just fat and lazy in the block somewhere. In those rocks. Just chilling. I always have infinite hope that around the next corner we're going to find them there. Generally, Jennifer, the animals that are killed for special meaning or powers are unusual and don't have a lot of sort of meat value. So obviously the most commonly known one is pangolins. The scales are used as love charms in Africa, used for various other things in Asia. Vulture's eyes to see into the future, but that's only Zulu. When it comes to sort of medicinal power things, in this part of Africa, there's a lot more plant species that hold power or magic or value than animals. So pangolin comes to mind as probably the most sought after of that. And then vultures, in the past, leopard skins, but that's more because they were only allowed to be worn by royals. I think, do we drive down here again or do we check? Yeah, let's go this way. And then more recently, as a status symbol in the Shimbet church, leopard skins. I'm trying to think of things that are there were certain animal species, particularly in Zululand, that were protected or royal game. For example, well, if we go to Botswana, the grey duiker is protected, even though it's one of the most common animals in the whole of Botswana and has one of the largest distributions, because it is the totem animal of the Khama family. Now, Sir Seretse Khama was the first president of an independent Botswana after colonial times, but the duiker's worth comes in from quite a long way before Sir Seretse's time. I can't remember which Twana it was, or Khama it was. Twana, sorry, that's the northern part of Botswana, different chieftain. But I can't remember which it was. But he was out with his cattle on the sort of eastern plains of the Mkhadi, out with his cows and his goats, looking after them. And not far to the east, a very warlike tribe called the Ndebele, or Matabele, or Ndebele is the proper term, settled. And a little bit of backstory now I've got to, because so the Ndebele were actually originally Zulu. They were under a general, one of Shaka Zulu's generals, called him Zilakaz, and he basically didn't like the way Shaka was running things. So him, and I can't remember exactly how many, but it might have been as many as 10,000 to 15,000 soldiers, ran away from Shaka to go Oh, we're talking about the duiker, which the story's, he's going to run. Of course he's going to run. Going to end up leading towards, maybe we'll see a duiker when we get home, because there's always duikers at our camp. This is where the lions went, right here. Anyway, so they fled from Zululand, because obviously Shaka had a whole bunch more generals and a whole bunch more soldiers. They settled in what is now modern day, just outside modern day Pretoria, and there they already started to raid the Tswana people to the south. And obviously running away, they didn't run away with too many women. So the two main things they aimed to take from you were your cows for wealth and your ladies, because they didn't have any. And then the original Dutch settlers, or the Boers, moved into that area, and then they fled north into what is today modern day Zimbabwe, on the border of Botswana. And Mzilika's even named his capital after the old Shaka's old capital in Zululand, Bulawayo, the place of killing, where they commit to the executions. And we won't talk about Zulu and Indabele executions. They are quite brutal. But anyway, so that's how the Indabele arrived and started raiding into what is now eastern Botswana, onto those beautiful big open grasslands on the edge of the Makgadikgadi, where the Tswana people would keep their cattle. And young chief, whoever it was, Kama, got caught out in the open by an Indabele raiding party. And it's these massive open grasslands, and every now and then there's a hebaklava thicket, which is a big thorny thicket. But there are literally tunnels into these thickets that lions, cheetahs, wild dogs, hyenas, all sorts of stuff burrow in and sleep out the heat of the day, because there's not many big trees around. So he was running with a whole troop of Indabele ready to stab him to death. And he got to one of the, there was a couple of hebaklava thickets, and he dived into the hebaklava thicket, and he crawled in down one of these tunnels. And the story goes that lying less than a meter from him was a little duiker, and she did not run away from him. She just stayed there. And then the Ndebele have said, we have got him now. He is in one of these hebaklava thickets. So they started stabbing their assegais, their spears, into the thickets and shouting, trying to get him to run. And as I said, there was 5 or 6, or I don't know how many of these thickets, but beyond there was nothing. So he had to be in one of these thickets. And they got to the thicket he was in. And the duiker, who hadn't moved at all while he was a meter from it, and when he dived into the thicket, ran out. And the Ndebele warriors went, the little putti is here, the little duiker is here. There's no ways this guy can be here, we must carry on looking for him. And that's how a duiker saved the future king of the Tswana people of Botswana, and then his ancestor became the first independent president of the country of Botswana, Sir Seretse Khama. Thanks, Mary. But also back to that sort of why certain animals have significance or special meaning, etc. When out here, you don't really want to put too much special meaning on an animal that's got a lot of meat, because that's food. As soon as you start doing that, then it becomes a bit more complicated to eat. But as I said, certain animals in certain parts of Africa were royal game. The Zulu kingdom and Shaka probably, although Dad would shout at me for pronouncing it like that, it's Shaga. The K is pronounced as a G, Shaga Zulu. Probably formed the first game reserve in Africa. I don't know, I think there were preserves in Europe by that stage. At the confluence of the Black and the White Mfolozi River in today, which is HIP, Tlhluwe Mfolozi Nash, or a game reserve. And that was decreed royal hunting grounds, and no one was allowed to hunt there. And they only had one hunt a year there, and it was pretty spectacular. They used to hunt buffalo on foot with a spear. We do have a fascinating history in Southern Africa, and South Africa in particular. And if anyone is interested, there's an incredible series of podcasts by a guy called Des Latham that covers the history of South Africa from the geological formation through to the sort of modern day end of apartheid. It is absolutely fascinating. I have not even got to Shaka Zulu yet, and I've been listening to it for months when I have a chance. I'm lucky, I've read quite a lot of this stuff, but just to hear it again, and he does such a fantastic job explaining not only the political but the geopolitical aspects of how South Africa was formed. Come on, lions. Be waiting at camp. Basil, no lions at camp. Watch, they're gonna wait until I get home. As I get home, I'm gonna see a message on the group. The lions are drinking out of the camp pad. Okay. So it's nearly time for us to bid you adieu, but I think what we'll do is we will extend just enough to get us to camp, just in case we find the lions about to pop out in this area, coming through this thorny thicket that we have bashed and crashed through, not once, but twice today, and with no success. Normally when I bash and crash that once, I succeed. But the lions are being sneaky. Alex, I would really recommend that History of South Africa podcast is a really good place to start. It covers all the different tribes of South Africa, including the two tribes that people don't even think about. Well, there's more than two, but the two main ones, which would be the Dutch settlers and my descendants, the English settlers. Des Latham, The History of South Africa. And this is where I was hoping to find lions or lion tracks. Alas, it is not to be. From all of us here at Paint Dog, even though we didn't find the kitties, it has been an absolute privilege and a pleasure to spend time with you this afternoon and chat with you all. I can't wait to do it again because you're stuck with me for the next 10 to 12 days. I'm the only guide around.